Stop trying to fix the wrong thing. 9 out of 10 businesses that I speak to are pouring all their effort into fixing the wrong part of their sales process. So I'm going to show you 4 simple steps to add 46% onto your new business number. Don't believe me? Let me explain. So here's a basic sales pipeline. A lead comes in, books a call, shows up to that call. A percentage of those are qualified, a percentage of those will get a proposal or a quote, and then a percentage of those will follow up, and a percentage of those will close. You might have a demo and things like that, but largely that is what the pipeline will look like for most B2B or high ticket B2C sales. Now, on the top, you have your target KPIs for each of those, and that's the percentage that good looks like for each of those passing through. Again, don't at me on this. These are standard rates for most B2B sales cycles, but specific businesses or industries will vary lead. Roughly speaking, you would expect 50% of your leads to convert to book call, 80% of those to show up to that call, 70% of those to be qualified, i.e. you will propose your offer or your service to, 90% of those to get the follow-up meeting or the proposal walkthrough, 80% of those to follow up, and then 30% of those ish to close. Job done. But nearly everyone that I speak to does the same thing. They obsess over the close rate over here. Spoke to one person last week and they were obsessed over increasing their close rate, but they were closing 30%. Now, for a B2B sale, if you're closing at 30%, that's a really good close rate. You are accomplished at sales and closing customers. It will take a lot of effort to get that from 30 to 35%. And what most people do is forget that there's often much easier, much quicker wins down here in this part of the sales funnel. But because people don't know their KPIs, they don't know where the easy wins are. Let me give you an example. So let's say Matey, who's trying to close at 30%, he actually had a 40% show up rate to his meetings. So we know that good looks like 80%. He was closing at 40%. So he could literally get that to halfway. And if he gets that to 60%, he's added 50% onto his new business number because he's plugged 50% of the leaks. Now, getting a show up rate from 40% to 60% is infinitely easier than it is from getting a close rate from 30% to 35%. But people miss. And it works further up the pipeline too. If you're getting less than half of your meetings with prospects are qualified, i.e. they aren't financially qualified and they don't have a problem. Side note, do not use BANT as a qualification. That does not constitute a qualified prospect. If you are getting a less than 50% of the prospects that are coming through and speaking to, that you find that they aren't qualified, so they're not financially qualified and they don't have a problem that you solve, then that is a bigger problem in itself. That's probably going to be a marketing problem and you're going to be targeting the wrong people across the wrong channel with the wrong message, but something's going wrong. If you get from 50% to 70%, again, that's a significant chunk of your business that you've increased, and it's much easier to get from 50% to 70% or even higher than it is from getting, say, from 30% to 35%. And the beauty of this is you don't even have to double anything. You could say to me, well, actually, Joe, I'm pretty good. I've got my leads at 40%, book call at 60%, showed up at 60%, proposals 90%, and the follow-ups closing at 25%, I'm doing pretty well, which is great. But the beauty of this is that you only need to find a 10% improvement across 4 of those parts there. So take your 40% to 44%, your 60% to 66%, your 25% to 27.5%, your 50% to 60%. And then you've got a 46% increase in your business. Why? Because 10% increase compounded by 4. So a 10% increase here means 10% more water goes through, or sales go through your pipeline. So 10% here Compound that 4 times and that's a 46% increase in the total number of business, in the total bit of business that you're getting out. So stop making it hard for yourself. If you would like a free consultation and to understand how this applies to your business and where your big leaks are or where the bottlenecks are, and you want a step-by-step guide and recommendation on how to plug those gaps, click the link, book a free consultation, and I'll walk you through exactly how this applies to your business. We'll identify the main bottlenecks and I'll give you a step-by-step plan on how to fix it. So if that sounds interesting, click on the link, book a call, and I'll see you on the other side.